Show you off in Lambos out on Collins. I be.
Hello friends, welcome to Everything You Need. In this video, let us see about the quality of service. Quality of service by Everything You Need. Quality of service is an internetworking issue that has been discussed more than defined. We can informally define quality of service as something a flow seeks to attain. In this section, we discuss some techniques that can be used to improve quality of service. We briefly discuss four common methods, that is scheduling, traffic shaping, admission control, and the resource reservation. Let us see each of the concept within topic in the next slides. That is FIFO, that is first in first out, which is a concept behind the queue data structure. That is, here let us think there is a sender that is sending the data, and there is a channel, that is a queue, defining that how many packets are in the queue, and there is a selector that would select the packets, incoming packets, and checks whether the queue is full or not. When the queue is empty or there is a space for the incoming packets, it would give inside the queue. When the queue is full, discard the packets that is arriving from the sender. In this way, the FIFO technique works. When the data packets enter the queue, the processor or nothing but the transmitting channel would takes this data, add some encryption or something needed for before the transmission, and transmit to the transmitter through the channel. Here is the receiver receiving the data. In this way, FIFO technique works. Let us see another technique, that is priority queuing. In the concept of IPv6 and IPv4, we have seen a priority packet that is available in the header of the every packet. So those priority packets are used in the classifier. The classifier is nothing but a dividing device or separating device that will separate the high priority packets from the low priority packets from the arrived several packets from the sender, which is a combination of high and low priorities. In the same way of priority in the FIFO technique, the incoming packets would check whether the queue is full or not. If the queue is full, the incoming packets would be discarded. When the queue is clear or there is a space for the incoming packets, those could be admitted into the queue. In the same way, works with the low priority packets incoming to the queue. Here there is a processor. This works in such a way that with respect to a switch, this switch turns to the other queue when the current queue is empty, stating that this queue primarily faces the or transmits the high priority queue. When the high priority queue is empty, then only this needle or this switch would turn to the low priority queue, which are with more data packets which are with a low priority. So in this case, the major disadvantage is that when the high priority queue is empty, then and only the low priority queue, the packets would be transmitted. But when the high priority is more, the low priority queue would be filled and some of the data would be discarded, so that the data packets would be lost, which cannot be recovered. This is the main disadvantage in this policy. So let us see an advanced topic for this, that is on weighted fair queuing. Here in the same way, the arrived packets from the sender was classified or separated according to the weights. Weights are nothing but a factor that is used by the separator to determine the most high priority packet from the least priority packets. So in this technique, there is a switch called Turing switch. The Turing switch selects three packets, that is nothing but three packets from the high priority queue, two packets from the middle priority or somewhat high priority compared to the low priority, and one packet from the least priority group. So when the processor can send 6 packets at a time to the channel, this would take 3 packets from the high priority, 2 packets from the moderate priority, and 1 packet from the least priority and transmits the data. The major advantage from this weighted fair queuing technique is that the low priority queue might not wait for the emptying of the high priority and the moderate priority. All the packets or all the queues would go simultaneously without having the congestion or the data discarding in the techniques. This is the major advantage in the weighted fair queuing. And the cycle would repeat, that is from the high priority to the somewhat low priority to the least priority. Let us see the next policy, that is leaky bucket. Leaky bucket is a concept that is explained with an example like this. When there is a bursty data from the seconds with respect to time and the data, when there is a data of 12 Mbps from the seconds of 0 to 2 seconds, and there is no data transfer in the packets in the time of 2 to 7, that is 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 5 to 6 and 6 to 7, and there is a transmission of 12 Mbps of data from 7 to 9. So these all bursty data could be averaged and maintain 3 Mbps per second. That is, let us example, this tab is an application, this drops is the data from the application, and this bucket is as a buffer or is a storage, and this fixed flow, that is a hole to the bucket, is a leaky bucket technique, by which a fixed flow or fixed amount of data is transmitted to the channel, by which the congestion can be avoided. In the concept of leaky bucket algorithm, this algorithm shapes the bursty traffic into a fixed rate traffic by averaging the data rate. It may drop the packets if the bucket is full. That is, when the application sends more data than the bucket or the buffer can handle, the data might overflow from this bucket, so that the data might be lost before it gets transmitted. So this is the major disadvantage in the leaky bucket concept. Let us see the implementation of leaky bucket. That is in the same way of a FIFO technique, that is queue technique, the data from the sender would be come into the classifier or the separator. In this way, this would select the data that is can be entered in the queue when there is an empty storage in the queue. When there is no storage in the queue, these packets could be discarded. The major concept here is the leaky bucket algorithm, in which the removed of the packets or the transmits the packets in a constant rate by the processor, and this processor creates some encryptions on the data that is to be transmitted, and this is the channel that is going to be transmitted, and here is the receiver. This is the implementation of leaky bucket. Some more advantage, that is, here we are facing a problem of when there is a bursty data continuously, that is 12 Mbps, 12 Mbps, 12 Mbps. Only the bucket with a hole of 3 Mbps can send a constant data of 3 Mbps. The data would overflow from the bucket. These overflow data cannot be recovered, so that there is a loss of data. This loss of data can be removed by using the technique called token bucket, in which this token bucket is nothing but an example of when you are entering into a railway station, you would take a platform ticket stating that how many people can enter the traffic, that is nothing but the platform could be recognized or could be controlled by giving them some packets or tickets. Without the ticket, the transmitter or the person cannot enter into the platform. In the same way, when there is a full of queue, the full queue would take even the one packet should take a token from the token bucket, and while receiving, when the packet takes the token, that can only process to the processor and can be transmitted. A data without taking the packet cannot be transmitted. This is the major concept in the token bucket. The tokens could be produced by an artificial intelligence algorithm in a constant rate, by which when there is a problem with the congestion, this could be overcome when there are more tokens available. Let us see the comparison between the token bucket and leaky bucket algorithms in detail. That is, in the leaky bucket and the token bucket. In the concept of tokens, parameter of tokens, there is no concept of tokens in the leaky bucket, but there is a concept of token in the token bucket. Overflow. If the bucket overflow, packets are discarded. In the case of leaky bucket, that is, the data, incoming data is stored in a bucket. When the data overflows from the bucket, the data is lost. But in the case of leaky bucket, when there is overflow from the bucket, the tokens were lost, but the data is secure in the queue. This is the concept, overflow. If the bucket overflows in the leaky bucket, packets are discarded. But if the bucket overflows, tokens are discarded in the token bucket concept, not the packets, but the packets are safe in the queue. The data flow rate. Data flow rate is constant as the hole in the bucket is fixed. But in the token bucket, the data flow is variable, because when there is a availability of more packets and the more tokens, the data rate could be more. When there is a low packets and the tokens are available, as there is no packets for the transmission to take the tokens from the packet, there is a variable data transfer. And the leaky bucket does not support for the bursty traffic. As we have discussed that when there is a bursty traffic, this could overflow from the bucket, which leads to a data loss. But this token bucket concept can handle the high data rate, that is bursty traffic, when there are available tokens that are in the bucket. That is support for bursty traffic, not supported by the leaky bucket, but token bucket can support it if sufficient tokens are available in the bucket. And the next one is when application is ideal. When the application is ideal is nothing but when there is no data to be transferred in the channel, the burst of traffic does not happen. So that leaky bucket, that is nothing but in a bucket when there is no water, that does nothing. But in the token bucket concept, when there is no data in the queue, even when there is no data in the queue, the algorithm for creating the tokens would runs continuously with respect to time. So the tokens were created when there is a congestion or more bursty traffic enters. These tokens, already created tokens, would be used for the transmission of the transmission of the data without any congestion. That is, when the application is ideal, token bucket generates the tokens to support bursty traffic. And the last one is packet transfer. Packet transfer continuously with constant rate. That is, packet transfer could be transmitted. Packets are transmitted with a constant rate in the case of leaky bucket, as there is a fixed hole at the bottom of the bucket. Packets can be transferred if and only if tokens are available. That is, when there is a bursted traffic, when there are only tokens available, then only the data could be transferred. When there is no tokens are available, the data should be left in the queue itself without transferring to the processor. This is the concept of leaky bucket and token bucket. In this video, we have seen about token bucket, leaky bucket, weighted fair queuing, priority queuing, FIFO technique, which are a part of quality of service, which respects to the scheduling, traffic shaping, admission control, and resource reservation. Thank you for watching. Have a fast and secure data transmission without any congestion in the network. Thank you. Have a nice day.